Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world.
I've been looking around for salvation. I've been looking around for the truth. All around me I see frustration, and I looked all over till I found you. I sit and listen to your stories, and you're telling me, please don't worry. So lot in this world you should know, and love in life is where you should go. If you're looking for somewhere to go, if you're looking for someone to know, if you're looking for someone to guide you, then love in life will guide you. I know that life outside.
Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And welcome to tonight's live stream. And yes, I'm just checking the audio. I keep on getting that bit wrong, but thank God it's not for a long time. Okay, now before we get Isaac on, let's do a bit of admin. First off, we are auctioning the painting painted by Isaac's daughter. Her name is Martie Breitenbach. And the painting is called Sunset. It's 457 millimeters by 609 millimeters. It's oil on board. Starting bid 2,000 Rand plus, and all proceeds go to Isaac's hospital costs. So don't hesitate to put a really big bid on this beautiful painting. All right, now, and to place a bid, all you have to do is just place it in the side chat. So you just say painting 100,000 Rand, for example. You can put any bid you like in there. That will shake off the competition if you put in 100,000 Rand. Think about it. All right, let's see what else we got in admin here. Okay, this is a very serious issue. There is a woman in Cape Town, in the northern suburbs near Bellville, who has been harassed nightly by robbers breaking into her property. If anyone lives in that area and can offer these thugs a welcoming committee when they next visit, can you please email me? I'll give you Eva's cell number. Mods, if you could put my email address in the side chat, that'd be great. And don't forget, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., we're going to launch our very first live news broadcast on the Loving Life 2020 channel. So that's 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Remember to subscribe to both this channel and the 2020 channel. Now, Isaac is at home and resting in bed. Let me get him on so that we can have a chat and see how he's doing. Give me a second, guys. Here we go. Hi, Miranda.
Scott,
Hi, how are you, Lawrence?
fine you, man.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Where's Isaac?
Unfortunately, I think he's just busy on a call quickly.
Oh, okay, no
He
problems.
will
No
catch up
problems.
with us now later, yeah.
Yeah. So, can you move your camera down just a smidgen? Half your face is chopped off. That's better. A little bit more. No, that's the wrong way.
Like that.
That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Right.
100.
So, while we're waiting for Isaac, can you give us an update what's going on with the Boer Legion? Any developments since we last spoke?
Yeah, we actually on our side in the Alpha region. I first want to just say thank you again for the opportunity that you allowed us to speak a bit. I just want to apologize for the last time we spoke for my English accent. Actually, it's like my airtime; it runs out very quickly on English. So if
Your accent is
if
fine.
I can, I will do some Afrikaans as well, because I mean, yeah, I can translate better in Afrikaans and English. But yeah, we're actually busy with a lot of training at the moment. Like you said the last time, we actually don't want to tell too much. There's guys that thinks we're busy with something illegal and stuff like that. No, we're actually just preparing ourselves to protect our people in the best way we can.
Yeah.
I mean, especially after this new stuff that we got from our Cyril Ramaphosa friend Cyril last week or Sunday night. It's actually, I just turned the whole freaking cradle around at the moment.
Well, it's absolutely crazy what he said. Just for the record, we got about 700 people watching at the moment, so we got a nice crowd on tonight. Now,
100%.
what is Boer Legion's response to Cyril Ramaphosa's speech on Monday night?
Yeah, it's different, Scott. I mean, there's a lot of people that say, yeah, they're very cross about the liquor situation and the smoking situation, but we have to look further than that. Most of the things, the actually thing that worries us the most is actually the fact that there's a clock rule now. I mean, you're not allowed on the roads after 9 till 4 in the morning. So that actually gives your criminal element free range to run around like he wants to, because he knows there's no patrols on the road.
Yeah.
So that's actually a really bad thing for us. There's way to come about, so we actually can get some right information, and we can register from some places to get permission to do the patrols. But to get through that all, by the time we finish with that, I think we are all living in a stage 4 again, like the way it's going on now on perhaps. So yeah, it's not a good thing for us. I mean, the fact that we've got, we still have to abide by the rules on their side of the rules, but they can do whatever they want to do. I mean, especially on the taxi situation.
That's crazy.
I mean, hoe kan jy vir my sê ek moet my distance hou van 1.2 meter in 'n Spar om brood en melk te koop, but they're allowed to drive a taxi 100% full for 16 people inside? How does that work?
It's ridiculous.
So it's really just getting frustrated now. I mean, he made promises. Okay, we're going back.
People are getting hurtful. I get it.
Everything away. Yeah, and unfortunately, I had a discussion today again with one of the members and some of the public people, and say, yeah, we're all getting hurtful. What are we going to do about it? That's the big question. What are we going to do? At the moment, we have to get together, all different organizations, take hands and see how the way forward. We must discuss the plans that we've got. We can't just start a protest action against this and that. People must understand that there's ways to do things, and we must understand to do that the legal way. We don't want to, it's not our mentality to start throwing stones and burn tires and break down the shops and stuff. We're going to get jailed. We're going to get jailed, and they'll put us away forever.
Right.
Unfortunately, they've got the mentality to do what they do. I mean, at the moment, I don't think the ANC government is 100% capable. I think the taxi owners is running the country at the moment, not Parliament.
Yeah.
Definitely not the government. The taxi association is running the show.
Yeah. I just want to address the side chat. We've got nearly 850. We've got close to 850 people watching right now. Isaac is on a phone call. He will be joining us very shortly. But once he's finished that phone call, he'll be joining us on live. Now we're talking about the taxis. 100% full for short distances and 70% full for long distances. And yet, you can't go and visit your mother and father at their house. How does that work?
Yes, that's a big. It's mind-baffling. It's mind-baffling because I'm personally sitting in that situation. My mother-in-law stays in Gauteng, for example. My wife actually saw her 6 months ago. She's living on her own. She can't get rich. She doesn't have a permission to go and visit her own mom in the province next to us. So it's mind-baffling. How does it work? Actually, now I suggested yesterday that she must get into a taxi and drive there without any problems, because that's the way to do it, I see. But now she's not allowed to drive in her own car with all the mask and necessary crap that we have to wear and stuff like that, to go and visit a mom that's an elderly woman with no access to nothing. She's not allowed to do that, but you can put 70% people going to Gauteng quickly.
Well, it gets even worse, because you take the coaches, these tourist coaches, they're not allowed to operate. They are far safer than these African taxis. I actually call a bunch of taxis at a taxi stop a chaos of taxis. That's my collective term for the African taxis, a chaos of taxis. Now,
that's great.
Just think about it. These taxis, one of the biggest owners of taxis in South Africa is Johan Rupert. Johan Rupert. He's got a huge taxi firm. And somehow he's just coming out with his bum in the butter every time, where everybody else is stuck in the mud. That there is something very weird going on in South Africa. And if I was a coach owner and I wasn't allowed to put my coach on the road, I would be beyond gatvol. I mean, I'm going to be having Reno de Beer from Liberty Fighters Network on my live stream, probably tomorrow night. And he's going to be talking about the outcome of the appeal against this ruling by the court that basically the lockdown is illegal and unconstitutional. He's going to be talking about that, and what he is suggesting is that collectively, just like the taxis did, they said, stuff you, Ramaphosa, we're going to go and do what we want. What business owners should do is do exactly the same thing. Just open up their businesses, just say, give Ramaphosa the middle finger and say, come on, bring it on. Because what Reno de Beer is saying is that the court has ruled that the lockdown is illegal. How can Ramaphosa be above the law? What are your thoughts on that?
It definitely has got his influence from somebody else, honestly. I mean, he's actually very clever. There's a lot of things happening in South Africa at the moment to take the pressure off him on this COVID-19 situation. So he lets a lot of small things happen in South Africa at the moment, so everybody can put their attention to that. So he can get some time to breathe and to work out his next strategy, because that's all he does. This is a game plan that they're playing.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no common sense in. I understand. I've got a video clip today of one. Forgive me for not recognize or remember his name, of one of other black businessman. He said they must stop blaming apartheid, because at the moment it's still one of the big causes in the COVID-19. This is a virus. This is not apartheid. Now all of a sudden apartheid gets the blame for this as well. Come on. There's another guy that spoke this afternoon, president of some country, said there's actually the virus. You must get the virus now so it can prepare you. You can get better, and the next time you won't get it again. That's the way they think. It's better for you to get the virus now, because that will help you. Once it's over, you can't get it again.
Right.
Okay, I don't understand the logic about.
Yeah, I just want to address the side chat. We've got about 1,000 people watching right now. Please, guys, remember to subscribe to be kept informed. And also, if you have got messages you want to give to Izak van Zyl, please put them into the side chat, or questions you want to give to Izak. Izak is just on the phone at the moment. He will be joining us momentarily. And I'm talking to Lawrence right now, who's a spokesperson for Boer Lichian, who's staying with Izak. Now, okay, so we had this crazy discussion or speech by Ramaphosa on Monday night. And then just to make the situation even more ridiculous, we had Dlamini Zuma and her cronies coming on from the NCC talking about exactly the same things, the new regulations. And I put a video up last night on the 2020 channel and just put up some of her statements which were nonsensical. That woman should be a housemaid in someone's home. And here she is running the country. It's just crazy. This is ridiculous. What are your thoughts about Dlamini Zuma?
As long as she doesn't get a maid in my house, please. I don't want her near me. I mean, that's going to be ridiculous. The fact that she reckons, or the way she's got the reasons for the liquor banning, is that you sit in a crowd and drink, then you let your guard down. Obviously, you have to let your mask down if you want to drink or eat. That's logic. Everybody understands that. But now they say you're getting ridiculous, you're getting restless, you're getting more aggressive. I understand that as well. But in the same sentence, she says it's fine because when you drink a lot, you must get transport, public transport, to transport you home. Now, how the hell do they get to that point? That's why they got the reasons. The taxis can be full, so they don't want you drunk. Obviously, they say you're getting arrested. So, what is the purpose of drinking in a public place, drinking at home? There's no way that they're going to stop it by banning the liquor. Understand me right, I'm not a huge drinker at all. I mean, I just think of the way she got her comments out to say what she wants to do and how she wants to do it. That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, at the end, everybody let their guard down. Now, what happens if you sit in a taxi with 16 people close to you? You have to stay 1 meter, 1.2 away from your neighbor or from the guy next to you. So now, when you drink, you must stay a meter away. But when you get in a taxi, you can sit together with them.
It's crazy.
So I don't think she doesn't have a clue what she's doing.
No, she's clueless.
Again, she's to say what she needs to say. That's just scary.
No, Izak has joined us. Hi, Izak. How are you, buddy?
Hi, Scott, Bud. Hi, all the listeners and viewers. I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. And it's an honor to be with you on the show tonight.
Oh, it's lovely to have you on. We've all been worried about you. Now, you're still in a whole lot of pain, aren't you? Tell us about what happened. Tell us about the operation, because I believe you actually had 2 operations last Monday. Tell us what actually happened.
Yeah, Scott, just to kick off with what actually transpired out of the court, the Hofbevel that we obtained to get hold of the angiogram, there was a refusal, and then the cardiologist got hold of the data via one of his friends, and he came to my bedside and he sat and discussed the whole angiogram with me, and he said that it wasn't sufficient to do just a triple bypass. At the end, they had to do a 7.
7?
I don't know what you call it. Yeah, they had to do 7 bypasses. Yeah, just to give an indication of the impact of this whole COVID-19 on private hospitals. I want to make use of the opportunity to salute all the health workers, all the doctors, all the staff,
yes,
the nursing staff, the cleaning staff, who are forced under the rule of law of the ANC government to enforce all this COVID-19 regulation. It's inhuman to see in which circumstances those people have to function on a day-to-day basis. I sometimes lied on my bed and I thought to myself, the agenda behind this COVID-19 are far bigger than the threat of the COVID-19 itself. And it's just unthinkable to think that people day in and day out, 24 out of 24 hours sometimes, that doctors have to operate under that circumstances. The pressure on the health system, the pressure on the normal functioning of each and every occupation that is operating in the hospital. It's extremely, I cannot tell you, the doctors who came to my bedside, every one of them said, to be here is very, very dangerous. We have to get you better so that you can get home and isolate. Because according to what is transpiring in South Africa, according to the health department, is of such a nature that exceeds every fantasy of the zombie apocalypse that ever existed. Now, I don't see any COVID-19 cases. I don't see any deaths resulting as a result of COVID-19. But my operation, to come back to my operation, it went well. I'm extremely thankful for the outcome. The doctor is happy. He said that the operation was a success. However, after they have operated me, they had to take me back to the theater at 5 o'clock that Monday afternoon, just to try to stop the bleeding that resulted after the operation, that transpired after the operation. According to them, it was as a result of the blood thinners that I was using before the operation.
Right.
And that is something that sometimes happens. So it was a very traumatic experience for me, for a person with normal lungs. It is very dangerous to get into that om weer narkose te kry in daai omstandighede. But I was in the ICU for about 2.5 days. Then they decided to transfer me to a normal hall from where I could have been released. I'm very thankful to be at home. The treatment I get here is far better than I can get in any hospital.
Right.
Under the circumstances. Every hospital are functioning right now. And I just want to also, Scott, make use of the opportunity to thank everyone, every individual, every donation that came in. The people who deposited the necessary deposits for the necessary treatments I had to get. We are busy consolidating the whole story, and hopefully by the end of this week we would have received all the accounts of all the doctors and people who took part in this whole process, and then from there we can prepare a communication to the outside world, just to see how it is possible for folk to stand some in a case of emergency. And it is for me from where I'm very emotional sometimes, because of, I don't know whether it's as a result of the operation, but just to think of what happened the past 2 weeks to me, it's words cannot describe. Words cannot describe what I experienced, what I felt, what went through my mind, what went through my heart. But I think I will be in a position as soon as the pain starts to lift. Because at this moment, every morning you wake up, the pain is worse than the previous day. It's not like a normal toe that you, soos 'n gewone toon wat jy teen 'n klip stamp. As mamma my kerokroom opgesit het, môre voel hy daarom beter. It's just as if every day is worse than the previous day, and hopefully there will be a turning point in this whole scenario, from where I can say, yeah, today I feel better. I feel a lot better, and there is progress. But as where I'm lying now, it's good when you under pain treatment. Die pyn is 'n bietjie minder. Maar die oomblik as daai pyn medikasie uitgewerk het, is die seer maar net daar en is dit baie keer erger as die vorige keer. So yeah, that's my story, Scott. Thank you very, very much for everything that you have done from your side to get this whole project going off the ground, getting this necessary funding to execute this operation. I know deep in my heart, at this stage there's no clear plan in my head because I heard what happened at Elandsfontein. I'm still aware of my surroundings. I'm still aware of what's going on in the country. There's no clear plan in my head, but I know that when the lion starts to roar, the lion will definitely start to roar and make the difference in South Africa. And we are not far from that point where the Afrikaners and the minority groups in South Africa will take a clear stand on what belongs to them, on what their position actually are in South Africa as a First People. And then we sent this whole ANC couple with Soros and whatever. We send them back to hell where they belong.
Fantastic. Now, Isaac, I just want to say that I know that God is watching over you. I mean, on the day you were operated, I think one of your lungs collapsed, didn't it, in the second operation? And
yes, definitely. One of my lungs couldn't take the second round of narcose. What do you call it in English? And what is it? What's narcose in English?
Drugs, is it?
Anesthetic. Anesthetic.
Oh, anesthetic.
Anesthetic.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I had to practice. They gave me a little machine that I had to breathe in, and I could by the second day or the end of the first day, I could have used it again, en kon ek ten minste die balletjie opstoot dat hy weer opgaan tot bo, jy weet. So yeah, but I'm getting better every day. I know it. However, it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm getting better and I will get there at the end.
Yeah. Well, just for the record, there are well over 1,100 people watching right now. And I'd suggest a lot of them are from the Boer Legion, so you got a huge amount of support in the side chat. And when it comes to your funding situation, just know that the Loving Life channel will do whatever we can to help you, generate or get that income from donations from people who subscribe to the channel to get that all sorted, because you are far too important for South Africa. And what that public hospital system did to you a couple of weeks ago was just worse than disgusting.
Yeah, I will not explain in my own thinking what I think of it right now. But I can assure you, Scott, that I will take the stage once again.
Yeah.
And this time around, someone is going to run. Someone is going to run. And I will not stop for nothing. I can assure you. I can guarantee you, and I know that this time around, we are not in a losing battle. We are not fighting a battle to lose at the end. And that is my point of view since I started the Boerelige. We started this whole process, what we call in Afrikaans, 'n opmars na vryheid, 'n opmars na vrede, 'n opmars na veiligheid. Not because we are begging people, sorry for that, begging people for our freedom, but because it is our right to be free.
Right.
It is our right to be free.
Absolutely.
And it's our right to live in peace in our own country, in our own towns.
Right. Now, Isaac, I know this is a huge strain on you, and I don't want to strain you at all. So, look, I'll keep talking to Lawrence, and if you want to join the conversation, just do. But otherwise, just relax there. I'll talk to Lawrence, and you just watch and just relax, okay?
Okay, thanks, Scott. I think that will be suitable. When I feel to come in, I will definitely come in.
Okay, fantastic. Now, I'm just putting the painting back up, guys. Have we got bids for the painting? The reserve is 2,000 Rand. Come on, let's get some bids happening here. There's this beautiful painting, and it's by Isaac's daughter. And the money from this painting goes directly to the fund to help pay for Isaac's hospital costs. So it's going to a very, very good cause. Now, I'm just wondering, I'm just trying to fit this painting in somewhere. Okay, there we go. It'll fit in there. Now, going back to you, Lawrence, you've just heard what Isaac had to say. What's your message to Isaac, as far as going forward is concerned? Because obviously he needs to gather his strength.
No, for sure, Scott. I mean, definitely he needs that. At the moment, we're all behind him. We all live for the strategy he's got. We waiting. I won't say we sit and wait like waiting ducks to get the new information we need to go to get forward. We've got the plan that we've got, the plan that he outlaid to us, and we have to stick to that. And by him being sick for a while now, or not feeling well, it's not going to stop us in anything that we do. It's not going to stop us in believing and fighting for our freedom and go forward like we've did in the past, and we're still going to do that the same now, although he's feeling a bit down, but he will get over that. I mean, and obviously, knowing General Izak, he's not going to take this lying down. He's not going to take this, especially with the state hospital and stuff that happened to him. Obviously, they're not going to take it lying. We're not going to take it lying down. There's no way. We're going to back him 100%. We're going to sort this out, and we're going to stand together and stand up 100% stronger than we were before the operation that he's got. Yeah,
well, let's face it. It's a clear case of suing Steve Biko Hospital over what they did. There's absolutely no question about that. That they should be paying millions of rands in compensation. But we won't go into the detail, but I understand how incredibly tormenting that must have been for you, Isaac, to know that they were withholding this very, very important piece of information when you were critical. I mean, that is just disgusting. And what happened to the Hippocratic Oath?
Yeah, that is my first question that went through my mind, because I was connected to life support systems at that stage when I realized that these guys are not going to release this very life important
the angiogram
data. Is the first thing that went through my mind. Whether you're a black doctor, whether you're a white doctor, whether you ask Professor Sarkon or Professor Duplessis, who are heading the department, how the hell can you get past the oath that you laid out or laid down when you started to become a surgeon or a doctor? How the hell can you withhold information that might save the life of the person to who that information belongs? There's lots of feelings, but there's no feeling that can describe the feeling I experienced better in any other language than in Afrikaans. En dat is dat ek was in my siel teleurgesteld in my medemens. When I heard what actually happened and the way my own daughter was treated, my own wife was treated, when we just inquired about that life, very, very important data.
Well, I have absolutely no doubt that what was going on behind the scenes was a spiritual war, and I have no doubt that it was evil that was trying to stop all this happening, and good won out, which is a great outcome. Because if you look at the things that transpired following that public hospital fiasco, Isaac, I mean, things just after that, even though it was a rocky road for you, I mean, you got the operation done. You're now getting better. Imagine what the other option would have been. You know, that this is God's work, absolutely no question at all.
I'm telling you, when I first went to Steve Biko Hospital, I asked God if there is any way that he think or feel that I must not get the operation as Steve Biko. You must put in the stumbling blocks.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what he did. And he did it up to the date. My wife called me on my way to Steve Biko, told me,
yes,
change the direction of the road to Unitas Hospital. I cannot describe the emotion that went through me. The emotion of thankfulness, the emotion of daai onbeskryfbare dankbaarheid om te besef dat I'm not going to the slaughterhouse now. I'm going actually now to a place where I can get help.
Yeah. Now, just for those who don't understand Afrikaans, what Isaac said there was this unbelievable thankfulness that he felt when he realized he wouldn't have to go to a public hospital, which is a death trap in South Africa. Okay, now Isaac, you rest. We're gonna have a chat, and you can just listen in, okay? Because you've got to rest. Lawrence, now,
Yes.
as I said, we're going to be talking to Reno later this week about this lockdown situation and whether people should actually support it or not. Now, if the legal opinion that he gets is that it's unconstitutional, they can't fine you for opening up your shop, they can't fine you for going to see your family, they can't fine you for all these crazy regulations that they brought in place. Or do you think the Boereligion would support the idea of their members, just like the taxi industry did, just saying, middle finger to Ramaphosa, you want the courts, you want the law, we're going to follow what the court's ruling is? What's the situation there?
Well, I think, Scott, that we have to be honest there and to see. Obviously, we're gonna do the legal way. There's no way that we want to create a problem for us.
Yeah.
At the stage of the journey. We obviously want to all of us, I believe, in every Boereligion or anybody outside there wants to show the government the middle finger. I mean, if you go to a roadblock, I mean, you actually want to go through a roadblock with the right paperwork and tell them, stuff you, I'm going through this roadblock. the thing that I can't understand is how they're going to stop you. Obviously, they're going to stop you in the roadblock and confine you that you don't have the right paperwork. But if you're in a taxi, you can go through the taxi. You don't need the paperwork.
Yeah,
the
it's
driver
crazy.
has have the paperwork, and that's that. So now, why must I not allowed to drive 5 people in my minibus, for example? So I'm not allowed to drive in a double cab bakkie 5 people, and all 5 people must have the paperwork if you want to go to King or to Pretoria. So how does that work now? Where do we draw the line? Where do we accept? Listen, that's the legal part of it. We can understand that, but here's the documentation that we stand behind the court order that's been issued and all that stuff. As long as we know our rights in the right way on progressing forward, that's going to be fine. But I know for a fact there's a lot of people that's Afrikaans hurtful, and we're going to get to a situation we actually need to manage this well. We don't want to get in, obviously we're going to get in trouble if we don't say, pull up our freaking asses now in a row and say, listen now, we've got for this now, this is what we're going to do, we're going to do it our way. Unfortunately, they're going to lock us up. I know that. We have to get by that fact. Another question that I want to ask about this, if we get that letter, if we get that ruling, we've got the ruling, how many people are willing to stand up and say, right, this is the ruling that we've got, we're going to stand by this ruling, and we're going to do what we want to do.
Right.
I can't believe that there's enough police force or military forces in South Africa trying to stop us. But then we all have to stand together and work together around the situation. There's no need for me to try to do this alone or Ger to do it alone. It's not going to work.
Yeah. Well, I just saw some video today of a funeral at KwaMashu, and this took place after Ramaphosa's pronouncements on Monday night. And there were well over 50 people at the funeral. There was no social distancing. They were dancing. They were partying. I thought funerals were supposed to be somber things, but they were dancing. You could see the actual the coffin there. It was like a party, a big party, and all totally contrary to the regulations. No wonder the coronavirus is just going flying through the community. And yet the white population, a woman just has to walk a dog in a suburb of Cape Town, and you get 3 police cars and 7 policemen arresting her because she's breaking the law. It is just absolutely ridiculous what's going on. I just find it quite extraordinary. Oh, I have to tell you, I've got some really interesting news for you, Isaac. The painting, your daughter's painting, has so far raised 6,500 rand. That is still going. So we're up to 6,500 rand, which is obviously that money's going to your fund. And guess who's got the winning bid? Ramaphosa's nemesis, Jan van Riebeck. So Jan van Riebeck has bid 6,500 rand for the painting.
I'm so proud of my daughter with the ability to draw that painting. It's something that my children didn't inherit from me. I couldn't draw a straight line with a ruler, but obviously my children's got some talents that I just can wish for, and I'm so thankful for my Heavenly Father for the talents He gave my children.
Right. Now, are there any questions that people would like to ask Isaac or Lawrence? If you just throw them into the side chat, and I'll ask the guys. Now, talking to you, Lawrence, this whole issue with the land invasions, and I know that Isaac just touched on what happened at Elandsfontein. Clearly, this is just unacceptable, and there are apparently what they call the Big Six, which is a syndicate who actually organize these land invasions, and they're behind it, and it's a crime syndicate. Now, the government's doing nothing about them. This is just absolutely ridiculous. What is Boer Elission's stance on land grabs, like what's going on. I think there's one going on at Potchefstroom as well. That's what I heard.
We must think about it nicely. I mean, on my perspective that I've got on the info that I've got on Elandsfontein is the fact that there was nobody actually to have the mandate to be assist of the SAPS units that was on site. They've got the right paperwork. They had a court order to stop them for illegal grant grabbing, but they kept on going. There was a way that they stopped them for a while, then they get aggravated, and they just went and do what they want to do. Although they had a paperwork from the court that said they're not allowed to be there. And the SAPs and everybody was on site there as well. I mean, there's a lot of rumors going about that this happened and that happened and that happened. I personally spoke to one of the guys there that was on site on Saturday and Sunday that was dealing with the fire petrol bomb that they threw, and they was actually dealing on that. So it's very easy for everybody to come and jump on the ship and say, oh, but you must do this, and why don't they do that, and why? Were you there? Did you get up your ass and went there and try to help those people?
Yeah.
That's the problem that we have to address. We cannot fight this battle, even if it doesn't matter from which organization you are. We as the Boerevolk, Afrikaner, white people must stand together. We must get to that fact that we showed them, listen, there were maybe 60 of those people there. There were 400 or 250. They must see we can't fall for this. We can stop them, and we will stop them. And that was happened. What happened there? They got stopped. Although they got the way, but they had some resistance. And as long as we keep putting resistance on, if we keep putting pressure on them, somewhere they have to see, listen, we're not going to come right now. We have to keep putting pressure on them in the legal way, because honestly, and with all respect, the SAPS doesn't want to do that. The SA police force doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I just ran in a situation that we've got this week as well in Middelburg, Mpumalanga. Our police station was closed because they had a COVID-19 case, a positive case. How the hell do you close a police station?
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Our traffic control was closed.
Yeah.
The license department was closed. Our municipality was closed, and our police officers were closed.
Right.
I
Now,
mean,
I just want to address the side chat and just remind them, and people are putting this in the side chat as well, that on the 18th of July, that's this Saturday, at midday, there's a walk to the Parliament in Cape Town, and there's a walk, or not a walk, a protest. Also to the Union building in Pretoria. And I encourage people to join that. I think people have got to start showing up and actually taking action. Because if you sit on your backside and do nothing, you're going to regret it later on, believe me. If anyone could give me more information about these protests that are taking place on Saturday, perhaps a cell phone number or something like that from an organizer so that people can contact this person for the Cape Town and the Pretoria protests. Okay. All right. Getting back to you, Lawrence. Now, when I spoke to you last time, you were telling me about how you got involved in Boerelishian, and that was about a year ago, wasn't it, that you first became a member?
Yeah.
Now, how dramatically has the membership of Boerelishian grown? Because it must be growing dramatically with what's going on in South Africa. And how can people who are watching right now, who aren't a member of Boerelishian, how can they join Boerelishian and be part of your organization?
Yeah, thanks. We were going through a huge growth at the moment. People are registering and getting part of the BL. But we must understand one thing. We get a lot of questions that people ask us, what can the Boerelegioen do for me? What can you do for me? And I normally answer by the same thing every time is, what can you do for the Boerlegion?
Yeah.
What can you bring to the table to make a difference, to make us a stronger organization, to help white South African? What do you bring to the table? I mean, we don't it doesn't help you joining the BL and you don't want to get part of that. We're not here to encourage people to join the BL. Honestly, that's not a masked strategy that we've got. Although if it happens, it's a bonus. All that we ask is the people must stand up for their rights, start getting involved in any organization, anything. Just get part of that. Do something. Do patrolling. Just get progressive outside there. At the moment, we're really going well. There's a lot of people that obviously we can go to the website and join there. And it's easy steps you follow. And at the moment, we must be careful. I've saw it in the past that all of a sudden there's a huge problem in the country. Then everybody wants to jump quickly on a wagon. And once it gets calmer, the discipline always goes off. It always went for a shamble because everybody, I can say for instance that the problem, not that we had, I can saw it in the country, I saw it in everywhere, from the 16th of July, on the 16th June as well. Everybody, the EFF going to attack and they're going to do this, and everybody all of a sudden, bonkers, everybody's households and the lives changes because now we must make a plan before the 16th of June. And what happened the 16th of June? Nothing. Because that's what the government trying to do. They want to rattle us quickly by enforcing something that's in there. We hear this is going to happen, and then it's not happening. We don't say, lay on your back, it's not going to happen. It's not, definitely, it's going to happen. And that's why we try to be proactive at this stage. Rather, try to prevent something that's going to happen, then it's happening, and we sit with our pants on our legs. It's not going to help us by doing that. So we need to get active involved. The BL at the moment is doing very great work, I must be honest. Obviously, there's a lot of work that's been done behind the scenes. If I say that in the right context, it's not behind the scenes like everybody thinks underground or something like that. But there's a lot of stuff we do that doesn't come in the open. I mean, doesn't need to. We don't want to get honor for this and this and that. So we do stuff that matters. We do the stuff on the right way. We do it definitely on a military base. We're military based and force that we do. And at the moment, that's working for us. Because 25 years ago, 30 years ago, South African Defence Force was the best in the world. And still we're sitting out there with the best generals, you name it, and they're all veterans now. They all can add some value to the situation we're in now. They all got knowledge of what to do and how to do that. So that's our urge to get all those people together. We don't want to overthrow the government. That's not what we want to do. We want to fight for our right. And that's the right thing to do because we have a right. We had the right and we still got it. So that's all we want to try to do and get the right people in places where we can use them and where we can work with them to get a better future for us. Try to work on the future. We must forget what happened in the past. Really, that's my vision and the purpose of what I've got as well and what I'm doing is forget what happened in the past. It's heartbroken. But we need to take that as a learning curve and work forward in the way we want to work now and make a brighter future for everyone that's living in South Africa.
Right. Now, I just want to again say to people who are watching, please guys, remember to subscribe to be kept informed. And this is the Loving Life channel. And also put your questions in the side chat. If there are questions people have submitted, could the moderators just start putting them into the side chat, which is moving really fast. So I'm finding it hard to keep up with it. Now, getting back to you, Lawrence. Now, what I love about the Boerlegion is the comradeship, because what I think the real core of what it's about, and please tell me if I've got it wrong, is that every little town in South Africa has like a little group of people who are part of the Boerelishion. So it's like a little commando in every little town. They do training, but they basically are forming like a civil defense group for if things go wrong. Can you just expand on that and tell us a bit more about how it works? And it's men and women.
If I can allow you to do that, Afrikaans from your side. Ja, wat ons doen, wat vir ons belangrik is, om huis en haar te beskerm. So, dit is ons baie belangrik om klein gemeenskappe te begin en uit te brei op dit. So, it's for us, it's very important for the people to get together. We join small groups by adding a force that can be reckoned in the community as well, to stand together, try to do things together. But that is, I understand what you're asking here, and that's a norm that we're trying to do, to get us a lot of, I will call it small commandos, like you want to say, to get people that can look at each other, that can form a brotherhood, and commenting on the same things that we've got in mind, the same attitude that we've got, and obviously the same discipline. Obviously, discipline plays a huge role in what we do. And actually, there's a lot of people that gets involved and say, yes, you guys are actually very strict on discipline. That's the way we do the things. It's the right discipline, the right attitude, and that's the way you can go forward. So it's very important for all small communities where we can get involved, starting training people. I always say, don't look at the numbers. Never look at the numbers. I'd rather take 10 people to war than I'm going to take 1,000 people to war. Those 10 people that I'm taking is 10 people that want to be there. So I'd rather take people that's willing and that wants to make a difference in the community. That's why it's so important. There's a lot of small towns that people know each other and they know everything that's happening in town. So that's an advantage to get in contact with people like that, get involved in people, training them in that area and starting to form. At the end of the day, if we've got 90 towns that's got small groups of 20 to 30 people that's been trained, well organized, someday we're going to need those small towns. Sometime we're going to need them to pull together to Gauteng, we're going to need them to pull forward to the Cape, then we've got it. So I rather said, train the people, get them all together in small groups, and once we have to, we can deploy them.
Right. Okay, now I've got a few questions that have come through for you, Lawrence. So I'll just fire them off. I'll just respond to PE's question first. He says, can you tell us how the community came through to help the people at Elandsfontein? Well, what I can tell you, PE, is that when we had our first live stream with Marius early in the week, last week, very generous people donated over 11,000 Rand to Marius, which allowed him to buy 30 shields, and also covered the cost of the grader, which was used to dig that big hole across the road coming from Vlakfontein, so that they can't bring their cars in anymore. But a lot of people actually turned up. They had I think about 100 people who turned up as a result of the live streams we had. The word got around, and they formed a human barrier on the bridge when the black instigators of this land grab came across the bridge and started heckling them, and these guys just stood there with their shields and just slowly moved up across the bridge, pushing these guys back. And they got so pissed off that these black troublemakers that they then went down to the road, the N1, and started throwing stones at cars and trucks, which resulted in the Johannesburg Metro Police Service having to come out and apprehend some of these people. Otherwise they wouldn't have done a thing. But since then it's been very, very quiet. So, I just want to thank people who watch this channel for their participation, what they did, because they played a major role in making sure that these really persecuted farmers at Elandsfontein had some semblance of peace, because they've been living in a hell. You imagine you wake up every morning and some idiots put a shack on your land. It's just absolutely disgusting what is going on there. But apparently since then it's been quite peaceful. Okay, now Bruce Sliper has asked... Yeah, carry on.
No.
Carry on.
So I just want to get to that spot as well. Unfortunately, I don't have exactly all the names that went and participate in this safekeeping of the farmers that side. There were so many different organizations that went there to help. There was a lot of people that came from faraway places to assist. So that's the thing that actually came close to your heart as well, to see so many people responding from, doesn't matter what organization they were. We can't pinpoint exactly, there were 16 different organizations, but there was a lot of people that actually stood together and tried to make a difference there. I mean, so we actually can't keep tab of everyone from the BL that went there and said, listen, we've got the reports that we got that came back and what was the progress and everything. So I can't tell you exactly, but I can tell you definitely that the BL was involved there as well.
Right. Okay, now I've got some questions for you. Bruce Sliper has asked, how can I contribute on a monthly basis to the Boere Lichian? What's the best way for people who want to either join or contribute or donate money to Boere Lichian?
On the website they can join, they can become a member, or we've got some stuff that they can donate money if they want to. It's always easier if you get to the local guys that's in your town, doesn't matter where you are, to get in all of them, put your info through that they can come and see you, because that's the way we try to do this as well. By people donating money, we are a non-profitable organization. So what we can do is, say for instance, you're living in a small town that's got 1,000 people, and you actually want to contribute to that. Get a hold of the commander there. If you want to contribute, you can say, for instance, that's what we try to establish as well. People can say, listen, I'll give you $500, or I can donate 1,000 rand. Take that 1,000 rand, go buy the reaction unit, or the guys that's patrolling the area, go buy them reflecting vests, for example. Go buy them the torches that they need. Stuff like that. It's things like that matters. We need, obviously, because we're a non-profitable organization, obviously we need funds to go forward. I mean, just to put a reaction team out there that's got all geared up, it's costing a lot of thousands of rands. We're all in this together. We all want to try to help. So that's easy. Actually, if you don't want to become a member by just donating, there's also ways to follow that. We can also establish that on our website, and you can go for it like that.
Right. Now, Sean Kaiser has asked, does Boere Lichian want a Volksstaat?
Can I answer that one?
Yeah, go ahead, Isaac. Yeah, please do.
South Africa from the Cape and up to Messina is the property of the Boere Afrikaners. And I will not leave any stone unturned until we take back what belongs to us.
Right. Now, Isaac, I can't see you.
The idea of a false start is good. I support every idea of self-determination.
Yeah.
But at the end, the 4 keer will be weigering sal weer wapper in 'n onafhanklike republiek van Suid-Afrika, waar die Boere Afrikaner weer in bevel en in beheer sal wees, soos voor die bedrog van 1994. I'm not going to elaborate on that. I want the person who asked that question to rest at peace. That as long as Izak van Zyl and the Boere Legioen is alive, that is the way we are working at. We are fighting this war in another way, and at the end, God will give back that belongs to us. And that is the Republic of South Africa, which became a republic in 1961.
Right.
And that nothing more and nothing less.
Okay. Thanks, Isaac. That clarifies the situation. Wonderful.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay, now, Tyron Rousseau has asked, should the Boer religion not have some sort of ideological wing?
Yes, can you rephrase that question, Scott? I didn't hear it
Sure.
correctly.
Tyron asked, should the Boer religion not have some sort of ideological wing? I guess what he's talking about is some group of people who set out policy on what they're looking for the group. In other words, when it comes to the cultural side, religion, and all those sort of things.
Yeah. Well, we actually got it. That's okay. Sorry.
Isaac, do you want to talk? But we can't see you, Isaac. Your camera's
He's
off.
undercover. Yeah, he's undercover.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not in a very good state of my physical, but I'll try to answer that, Scott.
Yeah.
And that is that we have die reglemente is baie duidelik geskryf. We are born out of the Boers, for the Boers, and for the sake of the Boers, and for the survival, and for the existence, post-existence, pre-existence of the Boer people in South Africa. We honor the only flag that is not infected by sin or ideology or whatever you call it, and that is the Vierkleur.
Yeah.
So that is our flag that we honor, and we are not a new organization, a new Nazi or a new Nazi movement, or a far-right movement, or a right-wing movement. We are standing for what is right and what is wrong. And if we can unite as a people behind what is right, then we don't have to take by force. We just start living again. Because we were robbed from our identity, we were robbed of our abilities, we were robbed of who we are, what we represent, and what we in the first place came to do here. And we have to restore that identity, that corporate identity as a white people, as an Afrikaans English speaking community who are striving for peace, for safety, and for freedom in the places where we are staying and working. That is all. That is all we need to achieve. And if we can continue on this road we are continuing, we will definitely reach that goal. It's not a question of whether, when, why, who, what. We are going to achieve that goal.
Right.
And our strength is not in our ability to mobilize. Our strength is not in our ability to exercise or to execute a military exercise. It's not in our ability to practice good security practices. It's in our ability to unite behind our identity of who we are. It's not who we want to become or who we were in the past. It's of who we are. And I know that as we progress in this on this road now, and the pressure pot is building pressure, and the frogs are cooking, the people will start to realize their identity. And then they will become part of a Volkswehrmacht. There is an organization called the Boer Legion. But we are not only an organization that's called the Boer Legion, we are also a movement that is called Boer Legioene. That is consisting out of the diversity of all the organizations, which can at the end represent a unity on one parade ground.
Right.
The moment we achieve that, we already won the war. I will guarantee you, I will take off my shirt, even my pants, and I will start to dance like King David. Make it in because I know. Oorwinning is reeds behaal. Die oorwinning is reeds behaal. Ons het nie nodig om dit te gaan soek. We have to find victory within ourselves and get back what was stolen from this evil forces.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Scott, sorry, if I can just add on that, that's actually what we've got is a regiment of order that we call it. There's a lot of people that actually read through that and said, yes, I don't know you guys stand for this or that, because there's uninformed characters outside there that's got a totally different view of what the BL is doing at the moment. So once you actually sit down and you talk to the people and say, yes, I don't know you guys actually stand for that. I thought this is this and this. So the people outside are very uneducated about what is a BL vision and the mission that they want to do. And once you start talking to people, they say, yes, I actually believe in this as well. Yes, how can I get involved? Because that's what also we try to do, is get as much as info out there so that people can understand what they are. We're not somebody just want to do a military background that we've got. Yes, we use a lot of military background people in situations where we need to put them, because we know that the structure is like that. But there's a lot of people that's uninformed actually in what the BL is standing for.
Right. Now, Aaron, so I think that Isaac has got to get a rest, and I know he's listening in, and
Sure.
you know, I don't want to put this guy under a lot of pressure because he needs to recover. I'm going to be shutting down the live stream in the next few minutes, guys, so that Isaac can get some rest. I think Jan van Riebeck has got the top bid at the moment, hasn't he, for 6,500 Rand for the painting. I'll just put it on the screen. Beautiful, beautiful painting. And I'm sure that if you want him to, Isaac will sign the painting as well. So it'll not just be signed by his daughter, it'll be signed by Isaac, which would make it even more collectible. All right, so there are 2 more questions to go, and I will shut down the live stream at 1/4 the hour, so that's in 2.5 minutes. Sorry, I'll shut down the auction in 2.5 minutes. So if you want to put a bid in, you better put it in quickly. Right, okay, the first question that I've got here for you is from Gerard Bijleveld, and he asks, waar moet ek begin skiet? I think he's
actually, ja, ek dink ons almal voel so, maar op die oomblik is dit nie oplos, dis nie hoe ons dit moet oplos nie. Dis nie, ongelukkig ons wil almal graag skiet. But we have to take in consideration what's going to happen when we fire the first shot. We must actually think very clearly about that. I'm also staying on a farm. Believe me, it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of problems that we have to face every day. And sometimes we also think, yes, can't we just shoot and keep quiet about this and go on with our lives? But unfortunately, that's not the way, and that's not going to work. And that's also not what the BL is standing for, because a lot of people think, we like a bunch of Rambos, just want to go out there and shoot everything that jumps out of the bush. Unfortunately, that's not the way we want to do it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, please remember to subscribe, guys, before you leave the live stream, because we have some very, very interesting live streams coming up. Reino de Beer, later this week, he's going to be talking about his win in the courts, which basically makes the lockdown by this rabid NCC it makes it illegal. So he's going to be talking to us about the appeal that was put in by the ANC government and the outcome of that on a live stream here in the next day or two. Okay, she has asked, when is the tipping point achieved that the Boer Alicion is fighting back not the same way as the farmers get slaughtered, but using the same weapons or the rifle? So I guess the point is, what is the tipping point? Because it's really the elephant in the room, isn't it?
Definitely, at the moment, it's all on our lips. Farm murders. I mean, it's a very, very sad thing in South Africa at the moment. At the end, we have to stand together. We have to unite as white Afrikaners. If that's going to happen, we definitely going to break out a war between black and white in South Africa. And I think that's not, believe me in my heart, that we all want something like this to get over and done so we can go on with our lives. But that's not the way to go. I mean, we have to still try to incorporate and see what we can do, try to resolving these problems that we've got. Because obviously, and the heartbreaking of this all, this is just, it's a political driven thing, this farm murderers. It's not guys that want to actually rob my Land Cruiser and want to drive around in town with that. They just want to go barbaric, kill the people and get off the land. So it's not, it's sinful. We can't understand why it happens. Hoe gebeur dit om soos 'n barbaar iemand te gaan doodmaak en onttrek? Hoe gebeur dit dat jy 6 na 8 ouens op 'n plaas aankom wanneer jy dit nie verwag nie en iemand vermoor in 'n wreedaardige manier om 'n selfoon te vat? Because it's driven by something else. It's driven by, and once we can get that root out, where that comes from, it will go a lot better. We must also remember to check in our own local communities. How many break-ins are there now from the COVID-19? Because what's going to happen if the criminal element is being caught? Nothing. You can't go to jail because it's COVID-19. You can't put him in a holding cell because it's COVID-19. So once you get to the root of this and try to stop them, especially on the farm attacks, it's way getting out of the hand now at the moment. It's the highest that it's ever been.
Yeah.
And there's just a political driven situation about that.
Now, we've got one final question, but before I give it to you, Lawrence, congratulations, Jan van Riebeck. It's gone past 1:15, and you have won the painting. If you could just pay that 6,500 rand directly into Izak van Zyl's account, and that'll go towards his hospital bill. Congratulations, and I'm sure that Ramaphosa will be very upset that you won the painting. Because he'll have another thing to blame on Jan van Riebeck, won't he?
Yeah, it's apartheid, eh?
Now, final question. Triton asks, does the Boer Alicion support direct elections?
Does he support, sorry?
Direct elections. I think direct elections. I'm not sure what he actually means by that, but I think he means.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a nothing burger question because I've never heard of direct elections before. Now, Marlena is correct. Marlena says Izak must go and rest. He's been up for over an hour now, so I'm going to shut down the live stream. Before I do, Lawrence, is there a message you would like to give to everybody who's watching this live stream in closing?
For sure. Firstly, I want to say thank you to everybody for their good wishes for General Izak, for all the contributions that they contribute to this operation that they've got. I also just want to tell and say, please remember that all the money that's been gathered and collected for Izak's operation, it doesn't go into his personal account. It's going to separate accounts that's just been opened for hospitalization and all the medical bills. So that's a peace of mind for everybody there as well. So if we can still donate something, it will be a lot of help. And I just want to say, thanks for the people that's listening. Thanks for the people that got the message out there. Thanks for the way we can operate at the moment. All our loyal supporters that we've got, all our loyal members, officers that's standing in the line of duty every day. Onthou ons almal is vrywilligers. Nie een van ons word betaal vir wat ons doen nie. We do this for our own folk and our people that's got the same passion as we do to try to get our freedom back and live in peace and harmony together in our own land, South Africa.
Right. Okay, guys, look, I'm going to shut down the live stream now because I don't want Isaac coming back on and straining himself anymore. I know he's listening. I just want to thank you, Lawrence, for coming along and joining us tonight.
Thank you.
And thank you for giving us an update. Could you just give Isaac a message? If he can let us know once he's got a breakdown of all those costs, and what I'll do is I will work a strategy to see how we can help raise money to pay back those hospital costs that are still outstanding.
Well, thank you very much. And thanks for you, Scott. We appreciate you a lot. Thanks.
And that's a pleasure, Lawrence. And to the moderators, thanks, guys, for all the wonderful work you do in the side chat. And for everybody else who's been here and joined us, thank you so much for spending the time with us. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. That way you're going to get all the really good live streams, and make sure you join the 2020 channel as well. Alrighty, with that, I'm going to sign out and say to our guest once again, thank you so much, Lawrence, and please let Isaac know that everybody is praying for him. There's a huge number of people who are praying for him.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks. Enjoy your night.
Okay. Take care, guys, and don't forget to pray for Isaac.